What a delightful presentation. They all have been. Have you got, so that's three. Have you got favourite? Have you got a favourite? Who's the winner? What do you reckon? I don't know, should we do 7 more? That's probably a good idea. That's probably the wisest thing to do. So that's good. So our national colour's black, right? I find it really weird. Why didn't we pick something pretty? Apparently we're looking for a new flag now, but something that doesn't look like ISIS would be quite good. That'll be weird, because we name all of our sports teams. Other countries, I'm really intrigued. Other countries name their sports teams after animals. We don't do that here. We just, like you're playing against the lions, cougars, tigers, pumas, springboks, ba-ding, 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 ba-ding. We don't do that. We just name all of our sports teams either black something or something black. Got the All Blacks, the Tall Blacks, Black Caps, Black Sticks, Black Ferns, Baby Blacks. I was quite excited when I heard about the Black Cocks. Turns out they play badminton. It's not what you're hoping for when you buy the ticket, is it? Generally speaking. No, you all look old enough for that sort of carry on. That's all right. Just finding my boundaries. How are we, judges? Are we good? Alistair looks really concerned. He's going to stop writing. He's going to stop writing because it will make me stop talking. So that's good. All right. Our fourth presenter tonight is Liam McMahon, and his thesis is mathematics of solar flares. Solar flares could have a disastrous impact on our lives, yet we know very little about them. Liam uses mathematics to explain how magnetism in the sun can cause these explosions. So do that thing that you do so well, and welcome Liam McMahon.
In our age of technology, we are becoming increasingly dependent on power and communication. Businesses, hospitals, and universities all rely heavily on the power grid. So imagine if suddenly the entire world were hit by a global power blackout with no cell phone reception, and all because of an explosion millions of miles away. Solar flares erupt with the energy of 160 trillion megatons of TNT in the space of about 10 minutes. The energy release will destroy our communication and GPS satellites and overload power lines. Yet we have no way of predicting when such an event could occur. We urgently need to understand how solar flares occur so that we can be better prepared for when the next flare hits Earth. A mathematical model is needed for explaining solar flares. The sun is a giant ball of plasma governed by magnetic fields. Plasma is the yellow-orange fluid in the sun, which you can see here. Solar flares are huge explosions of this plasma out of the sun. When two plasmas in the sun collide, a huge amount of energy builds up in a small collision region. Sometimes this energy is slowly and steadily released, but other times it just keeps building up until finally it explodes. I want to explore the relationship between the plasma and the sun and the magnetic fields they interact with. I want to explain how this relationship can be explosive. Our magnetic fields here on Earth consist of a north pole and a south pole and a magnetic field in between. The magnetic fields in the sun, however, are much stronger and are tied to the movement of the plasma around the sun. So as the plasma moves around the sun, the magnetic field lines twist and turn with it, resulting in a much more interesting field structure. And this structure is described mathematically by a series of differential equations. These equations are fun to play around with, and by manipulating them, I obtained a model for flare energy release. This model is demonstrated by these two graphs. The first is slow and steady, non-explosive release of energy, which you can see from the straight line. The second is our flare, the sudden explosive change in energy, which you can see from this line slowly moving across and then suddenly blowing up to infinity. My simple graph captures the essential features of the flare pictured in the background, which gives us valuable insight into the flare process. And the better we understand solar flares, the better we can be prepared for when the next flare hits Earth. Thank you.
The University of Waikato, where the world is going.